Hey gun people, gonna talk about new technology. I just did a video on use of force, so I still got all my crap on, but anyway, I'm gonna do and the camera's in there. I tried to move it out so it wouldn't be so dark, but it still looks like it's dark. Whatever. So let's talk about technology and videos. There's a debate going on right now on whether or not people should be able to live stream. The girl that just videotaped her boyfriend bleeding, oh look, the cops killed, you know, she narrated the whole narrative with no evidence, no proof, no nothing. She just shows her boyfriend bleeding out, a cop standing there with a gun, and she starts telling what happened. So, and she live streams it, so it's coming across Facebook, because Facebook has live streaming now. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I know people are going to be like, I'm going to get 50-50 here, because a lot of my things, I either piss 50% of the people off and 50% of the people love me, but whatever. I got no problem with that. I like free press. I like free flowing information. I like the ability for the people to put out whatever they want without restrictions or controls from the government. Well, Rick, you can't have it. There'll be people putting out child porn. Look, I got no problem with them suppressing child porn. Okay, that's a crime. But information about incidents, whether it's bloody or bad or whatever, government or Facebook or YouTube should not be the world police and say, we as gods, because we have the magic button, gets to say what you peon servants get to see, can't see, what you can hear and can't hear, and we decide because we're always smarter than you peons. I don't like that. I think it's stupid. I think it's wrong. Everybody has free choice. I can watch it or don't watch it. If I see a bloody film, I can vote it down. I can say I don't like it. Tough shit. I don't have to watch it. I don't have to hit play. You don't have to come here and cry because you want to call me a racist cop, bigot, whatever, mean guy, use of force, government fly, whatever you want to call me. I don't give a shit. I don't like censorship at any level because it's abused and it grows. It's just like government. Whatever power government has, they inch by inch will take over time, and 10, 20, 30, 40 years later, before you know it, the freedoms that people used to have are gone. If you look at our country now, the freedoms that we used to have are gone. Well, Rick, it's a different time and the government needs to stay the hell out of the people's business and let freedom ring. Forget this censorship bullshit. The problem with censorship, and I see it on Facebook all the time, Facebook says we have community standards, so therefore we remove things that we find offensive. Well, they find conservative, American, patriotic, gun-loving people offensive. So they get to suppress all that, delete it, and stop that message. And yet, Black Lives Matter, hate, calling Whitey this, they don't have a problem with that, so that message gets played over and over. That's called brainwashing, people. If I put you in a room and only give you one side of the story and tell you evil, 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 and that's all you hear, pretty soon, if you repeat a lie enough, people believe it is truth. Politicians have known this for years. They do it all the time, and now they're going to start doing it with audio or video. If you give government, Facebook, YouTube, anybody, power and control to say, we're smart, you dummies can't decide on what to watch, what to look at. You can't have choices because you're too stupid to make choices. So we, as the gods of the internet and the gods of government, will choose for you and decide what we think you should see and hear. Okay? That's kind of called communism. That's kind of called state-controlled media. That's kind of called media blackout. All these countries with atrocities against their people and squashing and killing and government genocide and killing people, guess what? First thing they want is the guns. Second thing they want is the ability to control the information. Stop the press, stop the video, shut down. Our government has 100% control over all communication in this country. I'm going to get into that in my Revolution series. We have no communication ability. People think, I got a cell phone, I got the internet, I got my landline, I can talk to... Government can shut down every one of those. They can jam the radio frequencies. They can ham radio operator. We'll always be able. They can shut down every wavelength in the air by either jamming, disrupting, or stopping it. They can shut down the TVs. They do it in the communist states. And you know how it started? Rick, we got to protect people from these bad images. Facebook took down the image of the black guy bleeding with the girlfriend. And they took it down because they said it was too graphic. And then all the Black Lives Matter complained and said, this is for our cause, this is our liberal left cause. See, we're saying the government's bad and they're beating up black people. You got to put it back up. Facebook then said, we'll put it back up, and they put the video up. Why did they get to choose? Why did they get to choose to take it down, and why did they get to choose to put it up? Because they're pushing their bias. Facebook and Zuckerberg is the biggest freaking left-wing idiot liberal pieces of shit around, and I'm telling you, they suppress everything if it doesn't fit their agenda. They push, and that's the problem with control. If I run my business, I should be able to control my business. I started it, I pay people, I should be able to do it. Government says no. Christian place has to make a gay cake. Doesn't matter. Muslims don't have to make a gay cake because they're in a protected class. But if you're white, then you have to make the cake because government gets to choose what they enforce, when they enforce it, and who they enforce it on. That's what power does. I am a huge anti-government power. I don't like anybody, corporations, Facebook, YouTube, the government, me, anybody does not need unlimited, unchecked power because it just turns into abuse. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's time and time proven over history, and people continue to ignore it, and they want to give government more control, more power. Give them the guns, we'll be safe. Let them search grandma at the airport, we'll be safe. Let them restrict videos of people getting shot or something they consider graphic, and we'll be safer. It just doesn't work, people. I mean, I just can't understand how people can be so brainwashed and so conditioned to be just non-thinking, ignorant sheep. I just don't get it. Freedom of the press is absolute. Number one, the founders knew it. And they put number two has the right to own guns because they knew that when the guns go, the people lose power, the government doesn't have a threat, the government gains power, and then the first freedom of speech will be gone. And I mean, it just can't be any simpler. I don't think any censorship is good, period. You know what? If guys are putting porn on there, then you arrest them. If people are putting shit out there on how to blow up something and they're committing a crime and they're inside, then you go arrest them. But you don't use and you don't give government or Facebook or YouTube the power and authority, or the implicit power and authority because you're okay with it, you don't complain about it, or you don't fight back or push back. You don't get them authority to pick and choose for the masses. It never turns out good. And in every communist country, they control the media and they take the guns away from the people. And yet every freaking liberal in this country is running around wanting to give the government more power, give them the guns so we'll be safe, let them have control of the media and we'll be better off. Stop that conservative, stop anything that contradicts the left liberal crap agenda, because you people are too stupid to make rational decisions if you have all the information. So we have to hold back information that we know is no good because you're like a child. We can't tell you because you can't use it responsibly. And us, as King God leaders, have to choose for you ignorant people. I mean, come on people, think. Government power control is bad. Government left-wing liberal is giving Facebook and YouTube power. You know, Facebook, anyone else, media and news people, they have rules. They can't transmit shit without having a filter. If it's graphic, they have to warn it. The federal government tells them, you have to keep our people stupid because they can't handle a bloody body or somebody getting shot. So you have to block that out, terminate it, or we're going to come after you and fine you for putting things out there that we, as king government, sees as too bad for the poor people to see. That's bad. I mean, but the government turns around because of left-wing liberal freaking backdoor shit with Facebook, and they give Facebook protection from that. And Facebook is not held liable for what other people post. Here's a caveat. As long as they use reasonable standards to remove it when they find out about it. Really? So, they removed the guy that got shot and bleeding there, and the girlfriend's telling the cop killed him in cold blood for no reason because he was reaching for an ice cream cone or he had a breath mint, whatever. She could say whatever the hell she wanted. He's bleeding. Facebook removes it. They get heat from the left. They put it back. Is the government going to come in and say, Facebook, you should have done? No. Because the government is pushing their left-wing agenda, and they agree with Facebook that, hey, as long as you push the things that we like, because that gives us more power, because if we can divide the people and get them to think it's about color, and it's not about government overreach, power, and control, then we're going to let you do that. But if you put some shit out there like a patriot wanting to support the Constitution and fly an American flag and stand up for their rights of free speech and the right to own a gun, well, we need to suppress that. Why? Because that takes away power from the government. Can't you see? I mean, do I got to pull out the crayons and connect the dots? Can't you see that all power given the government is never good for the people? Now, I know they're going to tell you, well, that's only not good for the white people because they got power, but the black people, that's good. Obama's been a president for 8 freaking years. Can somebody please tell me how great the black people have it? How since he's been president and he's in charge, he's the chief law enforcement officer, how he's in charge of all law enforcement, how he has changed, how he has stopped the poor murdering of poor black people, how the ghettos have become clean and prosperous, how black people are suddenly getting jobs left and right, buying homes. Black people are so great now and doing so good because of the black man in the White House, and he's a good guy because he's black. I mean, it just defies logic if you look at the situation. Nobody's blaming Obama for all these cops shooting black people, but they're blaming the white cops, even though the cops, white and black, work for Obama, work for the Attorney General, the FBI, the state attorney, your state. It all follows uphill and it goes to government power. Anytime the government, Facebook, YouTube, starts censoring shit, you need to look. Like I say, my default is government never tells the truth. They're always hiding something or they're always trying to spin it for their benefit. That's my default. Every time something happens, you need to look at it. Is this really giving government more power and taking more of our freedoms? Or is this really good for the country? Because if you ask that question, 90% of the time, it's not going to be good for the country. You don't bring in Muslims from Syria that have sworn to kill us and blow us up and say, not all Muslims are bad, you idiots, so we're going to bring them in because it's going to help you. And then we've had more terrorist attacks and more people killed, and then you're crying, oh, it's so sad, those poor innocent people, those poor cops that died. You're bringing in people, you're promoting racism, you're trying to make this about guns, and you're not focusing on the fact that governments and Obama is inciting this shit. You ignore all that, and you just believe the government liberal left narrative. The gun's to blame, the white man's to blame, but it's not the government. It's not the police that work for the government. It's not the politicians that pass laws and policy that allow the government cops to do what they... None of that's the issue. It's the gun and the white people. Are you freaking stupid? Come on, people, pull your head out. I can't believe how stupid this country's become. All right, we'll end that there. I believe in freedom. I don't care. I don't like suppression or anything. Let it all out there and let people decide. That's what freedom is.